Pecha Kucha 256, Street Fighter, and Ironfist Chinmi. So I've been looking at some more of the manga I have. That is stuff I bought many, many years ago. The Street Fighter stuff is from 2005. And Ironfist Chinmi is a manga that was originally produced in the 80s that I came across when I was in school because my school library had it. And I have 3 books. These are the 3 books I have. They're in the middle or something. And it's about your typical shonen manga young boy out on a adventure to become the greatest martial artist of all time, quote unquote, the magic fist. It's got a really I don't want to say dated art style, but it's a very 70s 80s kind of manga character approach. Everyone's got big eyes and their hair's not like super extreme. It's just a little bit, kind of Disneyfied. And it's basically every arc is the same. The main character has to overcome a specific martial art that seems to be invincible. He typically has a week, and he finds by accident the secret, and then wins, and then he moves on to the next thing. One of the things I love about this book, because I pretty much love everything about it, is the use of action lines for movement. Creating movement in a static image is always a tricky thing to do, and this is probably the thing that defines the way I think about having to use action lines, and I'm definitely going to want to incorporate this into my manga. Good stuff. The Street Fighter books are, I think, franchised from Capcom by Udon. I think they're Asian Americans, because a lot of what this book is a fusion of both manga and anime manga and Western comic book sensibilities. It's probably the single best example of Street Fighter lore there is, and that includes the games. I think what they did is cool. I think it's a high quality. I can't imagine it lasted very long. I got it from a Forbidden Planet in Croydon. I imagine a lot of gamers might have picked this up if they were in the neighborhood. Not necessarily Croydon, just somewhere where they could see this and think this is cool. It's about, Ryu, the main character in the games, I guess, is having a personal, moral battle with Akuma, who represents power at any costs. And then in the background, M. Bison's trying to conquer the world, and all the other characters are involved in trying to stop him. It reads left to right. It's got action lines that aren't obvious. It's clearly got a manga art style, but without using a lot of the things. The fact it's in full color is atypical or not typical. Sorry, that's the wrong use of that. And M. Bison is glorious in this. There's a bit where he's just like, "Let me show you how strong I am." And he just throws the car into a mountain and it explodes, and he's just like, "Yes." He doesn't say yes, but we're all thinking it. This is fun. I'm probably going to end up doing something like this that's a fusion of Western and Eastern ideas. Manga Studio gives me a lot of options. I was also just looking at some of the Naruto pages for a sense of panel layout. Ironfist Chimney has its own way of doing things, but I think your typical manga has an average of panels per page and size per panel, depending on the action they're trying to portray. The space between the edge of the panel and the edge of the page is pretty fluid sometimes. I think some panels are increasingly smaller because the mangaka is running out of time to meet his deadlines, but that's purely speculative on my part. Something I tried to start this week is the Tuesdays, which is every Tuesday I draw a picture of M. Bison. I've drawn him haggard and weird this week because the point of these is to draw a picture of Bison. No one said it had to be good. And I might have other stuff going on, but it's an excuse to do something. There are a lot of memes about Bison and Tuesday, and it's something I want to try out. Something else, because I was looking at the Street Fighter book, was I wanted to redraw a Sagat picture I did a while ago, ostensibly to improve the lighting, but I just thought, let's just come in with a chalk brush, try and tighten up everything. Let's do the background. Let's redraw Sagat, because I originally did it just to practice using the G pen specifically. Let's get clean line work. We're not really bothered about what it is. But I always look at the image and think, there's something wrong, and I can't quite figure out what it is. I know that I definitely would prefer stronger lighting. What I ended up doing was kind of trying to use fog to differentiate Sagat from the background, also using the fog as foreground, and then using kind of a direct light coming from the left side of the canvas, sunlight or something. Is it better? I think so. Is it what I was going for? Probably not. I do believe it's a minor improvement, and an improvement is an improvement. I also spent some time this week just, thinking about how to build my characters for this manga, how to draw them. Everything's up in the air, and I'm trying to whittle things down to actual decisions. So there's still, specific character design. There's me just messing around with different brushes, seeing if anything feels like it makes it easier for me to render characters quickly. I'm certainly starting to look towards a Nobunaga-esque character. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's obvious cliches and stuff that I play with against cliches. That's the hope. I still want it to read as a shonen manga that is cool and interesting and fun, and in some ways stupid, right? I think that's essential, that it is what it is. Some of my characters are based on existing IPs, and I have to figure out how much I want to change them, because some of this is about parody, but I do want to kind of be the sole owner of whatever this thing is. But I do also want to keep the coolness of some of the characters I'm obviously basing mine on. So I feel like it's been a good experience this week. The official work for this book isn't going to start until after Inktober. I'm just trying to ease myself into it so that now that I've committed to this, I don't effectively pussy out. Time will tell if I'm going to spend the next year talking about how I've decided to not do the book or whatever. But I think we're moving in the right direction. This is something to be happy with. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 256, and I will see you next time.